Hey everybody! Today we're going to be getting into some basic multiplication strategies, mainly skip counting, jump start, and break apart. These should all be review strategies, and then tomorrow we'll get into the coveted box method. So, starting off with a problem like this where we have a two-digit number by a one-digit number. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know my 36 facts right off the top of my head. So I got to use a strategy. So with the first strategy in mind, this works best with two-digit by one digit or three-digit by one digit or smaller numbers. Once you get into a two-digit by another two-digit number, you're going to want to use some of our more focused strategies like the box method. And break apart can work, but I think box method is a little bit more organized, as you'll find out tomorrow. So for a problem like this, though, we can use skip counting and then also something called a jump start, and we'll talk about what that means. But first off, let's remember when we're looking at a problem like 36 times 7, that X, that time sign, stands for groups of. So we have 36 groups of 7. And one fun thing about multiplication is that it has something called the commutative property, which means that we can flip this around and it won't change the problem. So it could also be 7 groups of 36. So I could literally just write out 36 7 times and get to that answer. And I could add all those together. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I think this is faster than writing 7 36 times, personally. And then I could add all those together and get to my answer. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that 6 times 6 is 36. So 36 plus 6 more would be 42. 6 times 7 is 42. That makes sense. So I've got 2 in the ones place, and I carried my 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 252. That's one strategy. Or I could just skip count with something called a jump start. And I'm going to do that with this problem here. So if I've got 23 times 12, okay, 23 times 12. Well, that's a lot of 12 groups of 23 or 23 groups of 12. That's a lot to add up, right? But with my zero trick, 23 times 10, I can find easily. Any number that ends with a 0, if I'm multiplying by that number, I can take away the 0 and solve that first, and then just add a 0 to the end. So 23 times 1 by itself would be just plain old 23, and then add the 0. So now I've just jump started 10 groups of 23. I've just jump started 10 groups of 23. Now I only have 2 groups left, so I could just add 2 more groups of 23. Here's one group of 23 I can add, a second group of 23 I can add. 3, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 276. I would have gotten to the same answer had I written 23 12 times or 12 23 times, but I made it easier for myself or faster for myself with a jump start. Let's look at a couple more strategies and we'll come back to that. Well, one more strategy and then we'll come back to that. So now let's look at the break apart strategy for this same problem, 36 times 7. Okay, so break apart just means that we're going to break apart any numbers that have more than one digit. So here I have 36, and that's the same as having 30 plus 6 in one number, right? So now that I've broken apart 36 into more manageable parts, then I have two multiplication problems I can solve. First I'm going to multiply 30 times 6 and get that answer, and then I'll multiply 30 times 7, and then I'll multiply 6 times 7. So now I can use my zero trick here with 30 times 7. So I know 7 times 3 is 21, and then just add my 0 there. And then 7 times 6 is 42. Now when you add these together, make sure your place values are lined up. My ones are lined up with my ones, my tens are lined up with my tens, my hundreds are lined up with my no hundreds down there. So now I can just solve. 2 plus 0 is 2, 4, 5, 40 plus 10, and 200 plus 0 would be still 200. So now here, I got to the same answer for with this strategy, 252, as I did with the skip counting, 252. So this leaves you a few more numbers to add up. So again, the bigger the number, I would say the more sophisticated the strategy. So skip counting might work best with smaller numbers or with numbers that you can jumpstart. And then break apart's going to work better with those bigger numbers. You're going to have less to deal with, less numbers to get caught up with. So let's try that break apart strategy again with another problem. So I've got 323 times 6. So I can use the same break apart strategy with a number that has something in the hundreds place, because all this number is, when I stretch it out, is 300 plus 20, 2 is really in the tens place, plus 3. So now I've got 3 problems here to solve times 6. So first I've got 300 times 6, I've got 20 times 6, and then 3 times 6. Put that over here. So first, again, I can use my zero trick again. I know 6 times 3 is 18. And then here I have 2 zeros, so I'll add 2 zeros to my answer. I know 6 times 2 is 12. Add my 0. And then 3 times 6 equals 18. So now I've got 3 answers that I'm going to put together to get my final answer. So I'll add those together over here. 1,800, 120, and then 18. 800, 23, 89, 1,000. So my answer becomes 1,938. Voila! Let's do a few more with these strategies. So here I have 33 times 13. Anytime I see a 10 in the number, I think that would be a good time to use my jumpstart skip counting strategy. So I'm trying to find first 33 times 10 to jumpstart this skip counting. And then I can just add 3 groups of 33 to my final answer. So this would be 10 groups of 33 and then add 3 more. So 33 times 1 is 33. Add my 0, 330. So now I've got 3 more groups of 33 to add. 1 group of 33, 2 groups of 33, 3 groups of 33. Again, so this 330 was my jump start of 10 groups of 33, and then I just had 3 more to add. 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 12, carry the 10, 3, 4, 429. Simple as pie. Let's do another one. 143 times 7. Whenever I get a number in the hundreds place, that's where I'm most likely going to want to use that break apart strategy. So that's what I'm going to do. So 143 is the same as having 100 plus 40 plus 3. And I'm going to multiply each of these parts by 7 on their own and then put them all together. It's a lot easier, a lot more manageable to multiply in parts than it is to try and do this all in your head at once. It just gets a little messy in there. So first I've got 100 times 7, and then 40 times 7, and then 3 times 7. Okay? So 7 times 1 is 7, and then add my 2 zeros. 7 times 4 would be 28. Oops. Yes, it would be 28, but I forgot that 0 is going to change the value. So it would be 280, right? So 7 times 4 would be 28. Add the 0 at the end, it becomes 280. Now 7 times 3 is just plain old 21. There's no zeros to add, so that can stay back there. See how important it is? Place value, lining it up according to place value. Can't forget these extra zeros here. So now I've got 0 plus 1 is just 1. 8, 9, 10, carry the 10. 7, 8, 9, 10 makes 1,001 exactly. Guys, I didn't even plan this. I like that number. 1001. Okay, one more for you. I'm going to do this both ways. So first I'll do it skip counting, and then I'll do it with break apart one last time so you can see both strategies. So 44 times 6 would be, if I was going to skip count it, I could just write 44 6 times and add that up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this would be 4 groups of 6, which I know is 24. And you can check that by counting 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Or if you know 6 groups of 4 would get you to 24 like I did. That's how I did it. Again, 6 groups of 4 would be 24, plus that extra 2 would be 26. So I have 264. I'm going to double check my answer with the break apart strategy, right? So I know that 44 equals 40 plus 4, right? So if I split up those two numbers and multiply each of those numbers separately by 6, that will get me to an answer. So I've got 40 times 6, and then I've got 4 times 6. Woo. Okay. So, as we discussed, 6 times 4 is 24, and then add the 0. 6 times 4 is 24. There's no extra zeros. Add those together. 264. I got the same answer both ways. I hope that you found these strategies helpful. You've got a few problems that you're going to do today where you're going to practice these strategies. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go over the box strategy, which we'll use with even bigger numbers, and it'll be fun. Have a good day.